Top 10 annoying things about sourcing
that you can't avoid.
Welcome, pickers. My name is Mike Crofton, and I'm coming to you from the Redwoods of Northern California.
And my name is Carl. I'm coming to you from Castle Rock, Colorado. What is going on, my friend?
What's happening? Love to be here. Back at another one. Episode 21. 21 already. I can't believe it.
Yep.
This is great.
You're an old hat at this now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know what I'm doing. Finally, I got my microphone working. My headphones are working. No weird noises.
There's always weird noises. You can't avoid it. You
avoid
can't avoid it, just like the annoying things in picking, just like we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, man, those annoying things. I can't stand them. All right.
Yeah. We'll try to come up with solutions, but there's things that just annoy you or that make you grind your teeth at night, and it just kind of drives you nuts. At least it drives me nuts. Does it drive you nuts, Mike?
Me too. Some of these, as I was going through them, my temperature was rising, and I was getting annoyed just thinking about what they were.
That's funny. So this is a top 10 list. I think the last episode you tried to make it into a top 10 list, and it was really weird and inappropriate. And so I just thought, let's just go top 10, man. Let's just go. Mike wants to do this. Let's make it happen.
Mike wants to number the list, so let's just number the list. That's cool.
All right.
That's fine.
Let's jump in, man. Okay, number 10. What is the number 10 most annoying thing while sourcing?
Number 10. My number 10 is when I'm out there and I find something really cool, like a Chanel handbag or something really neat, and it turns out to be a counterfeit item. I hate counterfeit items, man. They're the worst.
Yeah. Like, is it counterfeit before you've bought it, like they reveal that, or you figured it out, or you bought it and then you find out later?
Either one. Either I'm looking at it and it looks really good, but then I find out that it's counterfeit, or I bought it. It's so good that I bought it, took it home, and then realized it's counterfeit. Then, geez.
Okay. Yeah. Counterfeit stuff, knockoff stuff. I think it's illegal to sell even in a garage sale. So I think that you need to go back to wherever it is you found it and bring the law with you.
Turn them in. Yeah, some of them are so good that people don't even know that they have counterfeit stuff, though. So it's not like I can really fault them for it.
I was out at a sale last weekend, and somebody had a big sign that was like, no returns, or like, once you buy it, it's yours, like no returns. Yeah. And so I just said, hey, are you... have you had this as a problem? Did somebody try to return something to a garage sale? And they're like, no, we just heard a story of somebody buying something at a sale and they wouldn't accept it back. And then they got sued. I'm like, I have not heard that story before, but they were just trying to protect themselves. I was like, oh my gosh, our society these days. So
good thing Pickers Podcast is an LLC. You can't touch my money, buddy.
Fair enough. All right, so that's number 10. My number 9 is bad garage sale signs.
Oh, the bad garage sale, or the small printed ones.
That's part of it. That's part of my answer. It's such small print. So there's so many layers to this, right? Small print, you don't know what it's saying, or sometimes they don't have any arrows on it. They just have an address, as if you know the area. And I've garage sold my area for 10 years, and I still don't know all the streets of the area. Like there's, 1,000 streets. I'm not going to remember where every single one is. So it's just like really weird. Or the arrow's on there, but it's like the nub that's pointing in a direction you can't see it. Or the worst. The worst is the garage sale signs that lead to nowhere.
Oh no, the ones that aren't there anymore?
Or they never were. They intended to have a sale. Maybe they're going to start like way later in the day. They just haven't gotten their stuff out. Like it's literally pointing to a cul-de-sac. There's 4 houses there and none of them have a sale. And so somebody put the sign there. Sometimes community sales do that too. I don't know. I think you just got to be patient with that. I think if you have a partner in crime, they can type in the address if it doesn't have an arrow. Sometimes you just got to come to a screeching halt just to kind of look closely at the sign. So, Mike, what do you do in that situation? Do you have any other advice?
Man, those are the worst. The small print. What if you get into a car accident while you're trying to read the print? Geez.
Yeah, that's true.
That it's just dangerous. It's dangerous. You got to take your signs down after you're done. You have to have large print, big arrows, because some of us don't know how to read and we got to follow arrows, right? Even though we've lived in the city for 10 years, we need to know which direction to go.
Right.
Up, straight, right, left. What
Have you
would
ever been
down
so
mean?
frustrated that you arrive at the sale and you have to tell them, you're like, I just got to tell you, your signs were seriously so
Mm.
embarrassingly bad. You may want to change them.
No, I'm not awkward enough to do that, or
Awkward
bold
enough.
enough. Whichever way you want to look at it, bold
Okay.
enough, awkward enough.
Fair
No,
enough. Fair
but
enough.
I do make very good signs myself, or my wife does, I should say. They're nice and printed and bold and all that stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, I like good signs. That's a good one. That isn't something annoying. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah. All right. All right. Number
Exactly.
8,
Good
what
one.
you got?
Number 8 is these high thrift store prices, man. They really know what they got out there these days. I remember the prices used to be low. You can make a pretty good profit on it. And I understand thrift stores are there for people that can't afford, to pay store prices. They're buying secondhand. It's not really made for resellers. And if I had a thrift store or for profit thrift store myself, I'd probably charge what they're worth. But some of these prices are, oh my gosh, they're over reselling or they're over eBay prices. It's like, what are you guys thinking? Are you looking it up? Are you just guessing what's going on in these
Right.
stores?
Yeah. Super
You
annoying.
come
I don't know how you avoid that other than just like, I don't go to thrift stores very often. So
mm-hmm.
just stop
Well,
going.
you experience it at garage sales though, don't you? Where somebody's got a high price on something, they're like, "Oh, well, on eBay it's going for this much," and you're like,
Mhm.
"Well, why aren't you selling it on eBay? Sell it to me as a reseller price, then."
Yeah. I don't think that they think about it from the perspective of not even a reseller, just a buyer, right? So if you are putting prices at, say, an eBay price, then why wouldn't that person just buy it on eBay? Because
Mm-hmm.
they have a return policy on eBay. They don't have to drive back and find the person. So somebody had this like big Minecraft Lego box last week and was like, "Oh, we looked this up and we saw that it was going for $125 on eBay. So I'll sell it to you for $125." I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay." And it has all the pieces. They're like, "Oh, it has all the pieces." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." But that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. 100%. 100%.
All right.
My number 7. This one happens when, so I go to community sales. I'm in the zone. I'm finding
Mhm.
things. There's houses galore, and I have to go to the bathroom. I'm in the middle of neighborhoods. Like, where am I going to go? I'm not going to like ask a person like, "Hey, pardon me. I just bought some stuff from you. Can I go inside your house and use the bathroom?"
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you do? How do you handle that, Mike?
Well, I've been garage selling with you before, and you made me go to the bathroom before we even left. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then you wouldn't let
that's like step 1 right there.
then you wouldn't let me drink anything for the whole day. It was
That's
horrible.
not true.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. It was like, no, we're not stopping. No, that's a good point. I haven't encountered that one yet. And luckily enough, my town is small enough that I could just drive back home, or like, if we need to drop off our stuff before we finish the last of our lists of sales that we're gonna go to. So
Yeah.
I guess those would be my tips,
If
take
it's
a
not a
break.
community sale, you're likely going to be driving greater distances between them, and you're going to be, and you're going to end up hitting
Mm-hmm.
a gas station or something. But if you're in the middle, like the heart of a community, and things are
Yeah.
just going, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to relinquish anything to anybody or have anybody beat you to a sale, then yeah, you don't want to have to sit there and hold it. But I've had to do that. Or you just find like some sort of you know, open space park and just like dive into the bushes.
No, we find an open bathroom. We don't just pee in a park, Carl.
No,
Come on.
I've done it before.
Oh no. Peeing in the bushes.
Guilty as charged.
Oh no,
Um,
geez.
all right. What you got? Number 6.
Number 6 is my most annoying one, and this one happens at I'm realizing that a lot of mine are about the thrift stores or secondhand stores, but this one's digging through a bunch of stuff, and this could be for a yard sale too. So you're digging through a bunch of stuff you're digging through a bunch of junk just to find the good stuff, right? So
Okay.
you're digging through like what I was thinking about when I wrote this was at the Savers, they just have like bins and bins. I assume it's like the Goodwill bins type of thing, but a lot cleaner.
Okay.
In you're digging through, it's like all liquidator items. So you're digging through old DVDs, you're digging through plush toys, you're digging through this and do that until you get down and you get to that one nugget. But you've spent 25 or 30 minutes digging through stuff to get to that one nugget. And it drives me nuts. Even out of state sales, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I don't do that as much. If I sense there's gonna be something there and it's an estate sale garage, I'll just ask how much for the box, but it just depends.
And deal with it later.
Deal with it later, sift through it later. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, that's a good one. I have to go to Savers to look at that, just to kind of see what that's all about. All right, my number.
Do you have a Savers?
What's
that?
You
have a Savers in Castle Rock?
Somewhere around here. Not in Castle Rock, but somewhere in the Denver metro area.
Know that. Cool.
All right, so I had a similar one for my number 5, but this is more egregious than one of yours. You said prices that are just like, astronomical. You could buy the same thing on eBay. Mm-hmm. I've come across stuff where the prices are higher than eBay. So, yeah. And this happened. So somebody had like a GoPro Hero 3 at a sale this past weekend. And so they're on the Hero, what is it, like the 10 or 11?
Yeah.
Maybe the 12, I don't know. But the Hero 3 is like definitely old. They're still on market for it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I was like, if I can get this for $5, maybe $10, like I might buy it and try to flip it. Right. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, how much for your GoPro here? This old, I try to kind of like set them up. I'm like, your old Hero 3, like try to let them know that I know it's old. It's not a new one.
That's good.
He's like, oh yeah, I'd do that for $50. $50. I was like, you got to sing me kidding me. That's like more than eBay. So I kind of snapped a little bit. Not really, but I was like, $50 at a garage sale? I was like, all right, thanks anyway.
You said it just like that too.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hoping he would be like, yeah, like, it was kind of like a passive aggressive move. Like, yeah, it's at a garage sale. I should probably come down significantly in price to like something where I could negotiate down from, but he was firm on 50.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that the GoPros had went down that much. That's kind of crazy.
All right. I'll look it up. I'm going to look it up right now on the spot. How much is a used and it was, it had some accessories, but a lot of those GoPro accessories like are a dime a dozen. So a Hero 3 is selling for, the first one that came up is $270.
And look at that.
No, that's the Hero 9. This happens every time. So, I see one going. Yeah. So buy it now, $40. Free shipping. Yeah. So more than eBay.
You must not have had the screen on. I was showing just happened to have my Hero 3 right next to me when you were talking about it.
Is that right? Yeah. And maybe if there's the right accessories or batteries, maybe it might go more than 50. Maybe that's not the best example, but you know what I'm talking about. Like you see them, the prices are more than eBay, and you could probably just show them like straight up on eBay. Like, here's how much it's going for on eBay. This is a garage sale person. How, can you come down in price? If you're really motivated to buy, it might work. But if they're so far above, it's just not worth your time.
So you bought a DJI drone last week or the 2 weeks ago for $20.
Right.
And now a GoPro it just holds its value much more for 50.
Yeah. Well, and the drone wasn't functional, wasn't working. I had an issue with the drone, by the way. I don't know if this has happened to you yet. So I told you I sold it, I shipped it, all that stuff. Yeah. And the guy that I shipped it to gave a bad address. I don't know how you give a bad address on eBay, but somehow he did. And so after I shipped it, he's like, you know what? Do you mind like just updating the address like on your shipping label? I'm like, it's already been sent. I can't update it. Even once I print it, you can't do that. And so he's like, yeah, I called, FedEx, and they said they weren't going to ship it to me because they don't ship to this particular place or whatever. He called it a PO box, but it was like just an apartment unit address. It wasn't a PO box. And I don't know how that works. So anyway, it ended up sorting itself out. The guy was like a really, like responsible kind of person who like sorted it out on his own. But I was like, I really don't want to have to pay return shipping on this. And so anyway, kind of funny.
Yeah, that's interesting. If they wouldn't deliver it, you get charged for the return shipping.
So I called eBay to confirm that I wouldn't get charged. I'm like, I don't want to pay for the shipping. I want them to have to pay for the shipping because it costs like whatever it was, $30.
Right.
And I don't want to have to pay for any of the return shipping. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll make sure that happens. I was like, really?
Okay.
Because you've never taken care of me, eBay.
Oh,
So I didn't believe them, but
that's
it
not very
ended up getting sorted
comforting.
out. What's that?
That's not very comforting to hear stuff like that about eBay. I don't
No,
want
but
to
the
have any
weird shipping
problems.
thing does happen periodically where somebody gives you like a bad address or they, I don't know, like last year, like I got things get delivered to the wrong address. Like that happened twice where it was like they had the right address and then that person had to track down the package at like one of their neighbors' houses.
Oh,
And that's like a postal thing. But anyway,
yeah.
that could have been on our list is like bad. Yeah. Problems with
Hmm.
shipping. So anyway, we're at number 4. What you got?
So number 4 is kind of a newbie mistake, and that is so. We've talked about it before, but it's seeing something at the yard sale, and you're like, "Oh, I'll go back to that," and then going on and looking at something else and trying to come back to it, and somebody else has picked it up. So you always want to grab that stuff up first. If you see something you think might be valuable, pick it up, carry it with you, wait and get a chance to look it up or look through it or check it out. See, look in the battery compartment for battery acid, whatever it is that you do with your items, but
Right.
don't just see it and think, oh, that's going to be there in 5 or 10 minutes when I turn back around and go to pick it back up. Grab that thing right away.
That's a really good one. I'll say that tends to happen to me on things I'm not totally sure about. So if I
Yeah.
see something that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll buy that, and then I'm gonna go see what else is over here, I typically
Yeah.
grab it in my hand or I let them know like, hey, I'm gonna buy this, and I put it on their table or
Mhm.
whatever. But if it's something I'm not totally sure about, then you start to have like that remorse of like, oh, I only kind of wanted it, but now that somebody else grabbed it, I really want it. I really,
Right.
And so,
Exactly.
yeah, that's funny.
No, you taught me about that one. It was pick it up, carry it around, and if you don't want
Yeah.
it, put it back down or whatever.
I still will
But
make that mistake if I just kind of want, or if I want to check out what else is up there.
mm,
So
I
sometimes I'll
get
do that
caught
if
up.
I'll do that if it's an item that I know is not like a hot item that I know people are going to try to grab, like a
Right.
wheelchair, for example. People aren't grabbing the wheelchairs; those things are gonna be there the
Right.
whole day, and so I just kind of ignore it and I'll come back to it.
So you say that you ignore it, but is it in the back of your brain? Are you watching out of the corner of your eye? Is somebody
Yeah.
walking towards it? Is somebody looking at it? So what
No,
would
no,
you
I
do?
don't even know because I've never seen somebody buy a wheelchair ever at a garage
Ah,
sale.
okay.
And so like I saw one this past weekend and then I saw that they had some what do they have? Coleman stoves that I was looking at. I'm like trying to check the condition on it.
Hmm.
I'm hit or miss with those stoves, man. But I was looking at a stove and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested in one of these.
Hmm.
Let me see if they have good prices. So I asked about the wheelchair first and then we kind of packaged it. So, but
Nice.
that's a good one, man. I like that one.
Cool.
All right.
They're
So
only
we are on number 3.
Yep, and they're only getting better.
Yeah, so I've got this one is we kind of referenced it a little bit, but lies. People that are lying liars about their products.
Really?
Yeah.
Like yard sales, garage sales? Explain. Tell me
Yeah, I
about
mean
it.
it could be at thrift stores. They'll lie about whether it works or not, like the functionality of
Uh-huh.
it. They'll
Okay.
lie about the value of it. They'll lie about how much they bought it for. They'll lie about, you know, what the current value is in terms of like
Hmm.
reselling. I
Hmm.
saw this on eBay for $1,000. I'm only selling this to you for $500.
Hmm.
You're a liar. Like not all the time, but most of the time, especially when it's talking about value. When it's talking about whether they work or not, most people are truthful, but every once in a while I'll find something. I don't know. I'll just tell you. So like I work with a lady. She's very nice and she is like on top of things. She is meticulous and she's telling me that she is getting rid of her kids' Lego stuff. She's got the original box, the instructions, and she's like, I spent hours going through all of his boxes and I counted all the Legos and went through all the inventories. These are complete or like 99% complete. And
Hmm.
she's still on top of things that I'm like, all right. So I sold one. I bought a bunch of boxes from her. I sold one. It was like a big one. And I'm like, I don't have time to go through the inventory.
Hmm.
So I just believed her. And I put mostly complete. I was like, I think this is all there because she said it was, but I'll just put
Hmm.
mostly complete just in case, just to kind of cover myself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I get the email, and the person's like, this is not even close to complete. Like, I don't know what your definition of most is, but this is like missing significant pieces and a significant amount of pieces.
Oh.
So I don't even think she intended to lie to me. I don't know what the story is, but it's just you just have to double check stuff, man, even if it's painstaking. So
Yeah, you do. Be honest, people. Be honest. Be an honest reseller. Come on.
right.
If you don't know, you don't know. All right. My number 2 is thinking that you found something great only to look it up and realize it's not selling well at all. That is my number 1 most annoying thing that I come across. It's so bad.
Dude,
Jeez.
that is such a great answer. That's happened to me so many times.
No, me too.
Do you have an example, like a recent example of something that happened?
Probably I was telling you about that NBA GM that I found in the Goodwill, and it had a Jay-Z soundtrack on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I thought I found a gold mine. You know, it's got Jay-Z on there. It's NBA. And it was a Wii Sport. I'd never seen it before. Or it was a Wii game. Never seen it before. I thought it was going to be a gold mine, and it was like $1.50. It was so disheartening. I was just so let down.
Right. Oh man.
What about you?
Countless times where I end up donating stuff or whatever. But yeah, I think I shared that box of GPSs that I found. I think that was one where I sold a couple, so I still made some money on it, but it wasn't like a, it wasn't like a gold mine. So that's a great answer.
Yeah. I've got another one. I found an old light machine for cameras. You know how you hold it up to the light and you read it and see if it's good. Well, this one was it was a dial, came in a leather case. It was really cool. I thought I was getting a steal for it. No, I can't remember what I paid for it, but I didn't pay very much. And it was old. It was very, very old. And it turns out there's a lot of these very, very old light sensor things out there. And Jen was looking at it. She's like, she was listening. Why did you buy this? And I'm like, look, it's vintage. It's got a leather case. The leather case is in great shape. There's got to be photographers out there that are collecting these things. It's got to be valuable.
Right.
And there was like 20,000 of them on eBay. It was just
right.
completely saturated.
That's why you got to look out for the camera stuff, because some of that stuff is super valuable. But strangely, a lot of the old camera stuff, like if it looks like really old, you're like, oh, this has got to be legit. That stuff's just nothing. So yeah.
You want to hear one that I kind of knew was going to be valuable, and I picked it up, but it wasn't selling very well right away, and then it just started selling. I picked up a bunch of cordless handheld telephones, old landlines, Panasonics. Yeah, I got 5 of the handsets, and then I got the base with the answering machine on it too. Picked it up for $7, and I've been selling the phones for $19.99.
Yeah, that's a great find. Sometimes again, it's like the cameras. Sometimes it's a gold mine, sometimes it's not. So be careful with those. It's not an always sort of thing.
But I've sat on those for probably 6 months, and they just started selling. So thankfully.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. What's
That's
your
a good one?
one?
All right, I like that one. All right, my number one thing. Yeah. This is the most annoying thing to me by far. I don't know if it's annoying to everybody else out there. I bet it is to some folks, but it's sellers who ignore you. Like you can't get their attention for whatever reason. So they're chatting with their neighbors. It's like you, them, their neighbor, and they're going on and on. You're staring them down. You want to know a price because, of course, their stuff's not priced, which is fine. You just want to know how much for something. Or maybe you've already determined, I would like to buy this. And maybe you have money out, like cash in hand, and they just, for whatever reason, are not willing to engage with you. The whole purpose of them being there, you'd think, maybe not, is to sell things at the garage sale, and they are not willing to talk to you. You're
just supposed to throw the money at them. That's what they want.
Yeah.
You find it, you throw the money at them. It's got to be exact change.
If they don't have a price on it, is that how you do it? You just say like, will you take $1 for this? Here's $1.
Yeah. Whatever you want to pay.
Okay. No, I'm not a person who interrupts very well. And I probably need to be more aggressive. It's probably more of a me issue, but this happens all the time, man. All the time.
Yeah, me too. Are you the person that when you walk up, do you say hi immediately? Greet? Like you can kind of tell who's running the sell. So you're just like, Oh, hi. How you doing today?
No,
Are you
no,
guys
you
doing
can't
well?
always tell who's running the sale. That is incorrect. Sometimes you can, but sometimes they're just like mingling with the people and you can't tell. And
Oh,
sometimes people will
mhm.
stand at the top of their driveway and stare out at the driveway as if they're in charge, and they're just a buyer.
Or they're digging through somebody else's garage, pulling out their golf clubs, and they think
Exactly.
that
So
they're the
you
seller.
can't always tell. And sometimes I'll just
Wow,
ask, like, hey,
good
who's
point.
the seller here? And
Yeah.
then, that's fine. But I try
Mhm.
to be as friendly as possible. I try to smile and I try to joke, as much as possible and just try to break the ice. And I like in the end, especially if I'm getting a really good deal, I want them to feel good about the sale as well. Right.
Yeah.
So I bought this old camera that came in this massive case. It was like this massive silver case. And so I was like, hey, does this include like a handcuff where I can handcuff my wrist to the case? It looks like this is something that's out of like a CIA spy movie. He
Yeah.
gave me this. He's like, I bought this originally for $2,000. It was like this really old camera, and he was selling it to me for $30. So there's obviously going to be some
Hmm.
middle ground where I'm going to make some money on this, right? And so
Yeah.
I want him to feel good about like getting rid of a $2,000 camera for $30. I just try to joke around with them. That's kind of my
Yeah.
strategy.
Sure.
Like, how do you do it?
How do I joke around with somebody?
Or how do you break the ice? Or what do you do when you approach people?
Yeah, when I go up there, I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" If I can tell, and you can kind of tell by eye contact. Oddly enough, whoever's making eye contact with you, but then
Hmm.
again, it could be just another reseller because you're picking up something that they want. That's a good topic,
Right.
or that's a good question. But I immediately say, "Hey, how's it going? How's the sale going? How are things going?" And then if the person goes, oh, I'm not I'm shopping. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
no, I feel like an idiot, but
No,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. I'll say hi to anybody. I will share that I have a hard time with the eye contact, especially at first, where like I just want to look at what they have. And so I'm not like making, I'm just like, hey, how's it going? I'll make the initial eye contact and then I'll kind of look down like, what do they have? What do they have?
What they have? Get out of my
Yeah.
way. Here's
Yeah.
Carl's
But
pushing everybody
even if
away.
I'm there for under 20 seconds, because I'll tell right away like they don't have what I'm looking for, or I'll ask them.
Yeah.
I'll still
Mhm.
say, okay, well, thanks for letting me look, even though it feels like I didn't really look. I'll still thank him for
Mhm.
that and kind of walk away.
Yeah.
So
Good.
try to
Good.
be polite, man. Try to be polite. So
Always
always,
be polite as a reseller
except when I see the GoPro Hero 3 and they have an egregious price, and I was not as polite.
for $50.
Admittedly. All
Or
right, so
or
those
the,
are our top 10. What do we miss? Please leave some comments if you're watching on YouTube, or please share with us on the social medias, Instagram at Pickers Podcast. Did we miss anything that annoys you? Probably we did. So please share.
let us know what your most annoying things are that you're finding out there while sourcing.
That's right. All right, you got trivia today
I do have trivia. Did you have any sales this week? You want to talk about any sales?
before trivia?
Or do you want to
Did I
do us
have
follow up?
any sales this week? I was
What did you
gone.
think of that?
I was like out of town, so I don't think I sold anything very interesting. I'm trying to think, man. You got me on this one. What did I sell? Yeah, I sold a Roku.
Oh, interesting.
Not for very much money. A Roku is I sold a DJ Hero. A little like you could be your own DJ on the Wii. Yeah. So
Mm,
that's it.
nice.
I didn't sell it very much this week. I was out of town. What about you, Mike? Do you have any big sales or big finds this week?
Man, I had two really good sales this week that I think that you would even be proud of with the
Okay.
profit margins on these ones. So I think I told you guys, I think I told everyone the last estate sale I went to, they had a bunch of gun stuff. So I bought like rifle slings and I bought
Right.
new package stuff like that. Well, I ended up buying this padded rifle sling. I paid $10 for it. It was on half price day. Always go for that last half price day. And I just sold it for $35. I accepted the offer. I had it listed for $49.99, bringing me a profit of 26.25. Is that a good enough profit for us?
Yes.
Nice.
Nice,
Okay,
man.
and one more. This one, I want your opinion on this one because I'm not sure how it's kind of, I don't know where the efficacy is on this, but the it's the we bought the NIV, so the NIV 64 CD Bible set.
Okay.
We paid $4 for it and we sold it for $40.
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
should I be
man.
making money on the Bible?
I don't think that's what you're after necessarily. I think you happen to make money on this Bible set, but I think that I go back to what you said to me probably last year. If you're happy with the price and the buyer's happy with the price, you're both happy. It's a success.
All right. Sounds
Yeah. I don't
good.
know that I'd be, necessarily seeking it out. Like, where's all the Bible CDs now? But I think that that's a good find. And I bet it went for a lot more brand new.
Oh, I'm
Correct.
sure that they did. Those big old sets like that, for sure.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just a resource
Cool.
there. Yeah.
I'm glad that I got your approval on my profits
I had to
this
think
week.
about
I
that more.
appreciate that.
You're putting me on the spot. I'm trying to think if I would actually sell a Bible. Just depends. I don't know. That's a good
Well, I
question,
know
but I think it's fine. I don't think it's something that's egregious by any stretch.
I know how you stand on some of your moral things, and we have a shorts that I'm going to be working on. That's going to be coming out soon. That I think is going to get a lot of attention. It's going to be pretty good.
I think it's going to
So
be. It has the potential to get quite a lot of positive and negative attention. Actually,
I think so too.
we'll find
I'll
out.
take either way. I'll take
Yeah.
both. We can chat about it. Opens up dialogues.
Okay. All right. Is it time for trivia yet?
It's time for trivia, and this week is mine. And I have annoying things that have happened to me trivia.
How would I know that they've happened to you? How would I know this?
Because we're buddies. You know my life.
How
And
would everybody that's playing along be able to figure this out? Is this achievable for them?
yes,
Okay.
it's absolutely achievable because we've talked about it all.
All right.
All right. So, first one is an easy one. Early on in my reselling, I mixed up two labels. Do you remember what one of the items was that I mixed up? We talked about it. I took a loss. We talked about it a number of times after that because I don't even like reselling these anymore.
Okay. I think I remember because I think it was the Othello board game.
Yes, good job.
I don't
Good
know that that's
job.
achievable for everybody else out there. You're assuming that everybody's like gone back and listened to all the old episodes. We have like new people coming on right now. They're like, how am I supposed to know that?
There are
So
only 21 episodes.
I
Everybody
apologize.
is,
I
it's not
apologize on behalf
like
of Mike's trivia. Mike was number 2.
and also, you know what number 2, you know what the other one was?
It was a Frosty Snowman door hanger.
Oh, no, it was a bath mat. You're so close. It was a Frosty the Snowman bath mat.
All right. Fair
See,
enough.
you are paying attention to me. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 is a true and false. Goodwill is known for how clean their stores are.
It's got to be true because at least the ones I've been to are very clean.
Really?
It sounds like I got it wrong. The ones locally here are too clean. It makes me not want to go there because their prices are so high. It just looks like a
Really?
nice store.
Oh. So like the stuff on your shelves isn't like all over the floors and they're not all mixed up and stuff. It's all
No. I mean, there's some
Oh,
shelves that maybe are a little mixed up, like if you go there late in the day, but for the most part, there's not
yeah.
junk on the floor. It's pretty
Oh, I
good.
want to visit some of your stores because the ones that I have been to, oh my gosh, they are like,
Disgusting.
do I need a tetanus shot to be in this
Okay.
store?
All right.
Type of thing.
We live in different areas. I'll take the loss on that question right there. False.
Oh no, that was my mistake. So you win that one. So all right, you've already won trivia, and I have 2 more questions. I
Okay.
have one more with the bonus.
All right.
All right. So I did an extensive search of the web, and I was searching for what was the grossest thing ever found at a thrift store.
Okay.
And so what do you think came up as number 1? A, used dirty underwear. B, dead mice. Or C, moldy coffee cups.
Oh, well, I bet all of those was found. Those were probably all on the list. I'm
But what
guessing
do
the
you think
underwear was number 1.
Yes, you're right. Number 1 was the used dirty underwear.
And that does not surprise me. That does not surprise me at all.
It grossed me out, but it kept coming up. Every search I did, it was
Yeah.
like used dirty underwear.
That's so funny.
And I want to see if you know this bonus question. See how good you are. This one is kind of obscure, but it was interesting to research. So, true or false? The first Goodwill store was founded in Boston, Massachusetts.
I would have no idea. So I'll say true.
It is true.
Okay.
It was in 1902. I didn't realize that stores went back that far. That was kind of crazy.
Like prior to 1903, you didn't realize that stores existed?
That thrift stores. The first thrift store on record was like 1890 something or something like that. It was 1800s,
Well,
late 1800s.
that is surprising because I mean, really, the thrift stores exist because we have manufactured so many goods that now people have junk. We've
Right.
manufactured so many goods that people now have storage units, and storage units are being built everywhere at a crazy pace because we've just continued to manufacture
Yeah.
things, and we're either throwing them away or we're storing them someplace. So
Right.
that actually does surprise me. That's a good fun fact.
That's wild. It was interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe we should go into storage, build some storage units, rent them out. What do you think?
I had a buddy who wanted to do that. Yeah. And I wouldn't, yeah. I want to do a storage auction. I just actually went to a garage sale where there was somebody who was selling stuff from a storage unit.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it still crazy like Storage Wars? Or she's like, it just depends. I was like, okay, well, she told me about some
So,
app. I should have paid attention.
oh, you didn't get there's an app? Man, I don't know how well you would do it storage buying storage units because you're not one that's good with storing things. So,
Mm,
if you buy a storage unit, that requires a lot of space, a lot of stuff,
right.
going through a lot.
It does. And so I would have to buy the right one for sure. But I mean, I bought one before that was my friend. So it wasn't like an auction, but I bought like, he had a storage unit basically filled with bins. And so I had like, towers of bins in my garage and
Yeah.
just made an effort to sell through it during the summertime. That was actually a lot of fun. He had a lot of good
Mm.
stuff. So I enjoyed that. But
So
yeah.
wait a second. Hold on, back up. It was your friend's storage unit, and you bought it, and you sold all of his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was somebody in his family had passed away who was like a
Oh,
hoarder who bought a lot of good stuff. So he was
uh,
into cycling. So he bought some cycling shorts. But wait, these cycling shorts are on sale. So I should buy 10 pairs of cycling shorts. But he only
that's
used one or
amazing.
two. So he had them like
Yeah,
still in the packaging. He had just, scuba diving equipment. I didn't know anything about that, but that stuff
yeah.
sells. And
I
so,
see. So
yeah.
that makes me feel a bit better that if something ever happened to me and I became low on funds and you bought my storage unit, that you wouldn't just sell it in front of me and be like, "Hey, this is really cool. I'm making money off all your stuff."
I think I share this story, but I mean, the full story is that in November of like 2019, he said somebody passed away. They have a storage unit full of stuff. We moved it from California out to Colorado. It's just sitting
Mhm.
there. Would you be interested in like selling this for us or just buying it off of us? And so I went and I looked and I made him a crazy good offer. I said, I will buy this for $1,000.
Mhm.
And then I said, any money I make beyond $1,000, I'll give you 20% cut of. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
too good of an offer in retrospect
Yeah.
because I didn't know how much was there. I was like kind of predicting. So I was giving him, so I wasn't going to, double my money at that rate.
Mhm.
And so he said, well, this is a really good deal, but it's, it's like it was part of his extended family. And so he's like, let me run it by my family, make sure this is okay. And
Mhm.
they said no.
Oh.
And so he's like, we're going to try to sell through some of this stuff. He had some bikes and things that I don't know how valuable they were, but we're going to try to sell through some of
Mhm.
this stuff. And I was like, okay. I'm like, you realize there's so much stuff in here. Like, this is a commitment. He's like, I know. And I'm like, and you've
Mhm.
never resold before. This is like this is like a side job. So he sold some things to his credit. He sold some things, but they still had the storage unit come June of 2020. So now we're in the middle of COVID. Nobody's really picking at this point anyway, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so he comes back. He's like, all right, we're ready to sell it now. We sold some things. So just make an offer. I know you're not going to make the same offer. Just make an offer. And I was like, well, you sold some of the big things in here. So how about just $600 straight? And he's like,
Mhm.
all right, sold.
Oh,
But
nice.
so they had sold some things, but think about that. From November to June, they paid the rent on that storage unit for, 6, 7
Yeah.
months.
Gosh.
So I don't know that they
Yeah.
made any money, right?
No, they definitely didn't make any money. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So I don't know. How would you handle that situation?
No, I'm glad that I asked the question. You gave me some context. I think I would have handled pretty much the same way you did, and I would have lowballed them in the end also because I would have felt slighted. You
And
know.
it wasn't a low ball because they had sold like some of the valuable items I had recognized, like this is valuable. So I'm like, I think I'm still gonna
Hmm.
make a profit here, but I don't know how much.
Hmm.
And so I think I still make, still at that point, I think I doubled my money, maybe tripled it. So it was more than I
Hmm.
thought I was gonna make, but it
Yeah.
was an effort. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well,
So
reselling that's one of the another annoying thing about reselling is it's an effort, man.
it
Why can't it
was,
just
but it was,
jump out at
yeah,
me?
the timing was perfect though because COVID. So we had all this time for me to research and list. So it was actually really, yeah, probably healthy for me to do that, to be honest. So
Perfect.
thanks for asking, man. I appreciate you asking.
All right, my friends. Yeah, I look forward to buying some storage units with you one day.
Let's do it. All right, everybody else, it's time to find your own treasures one story at a time.
And remember, it's not reselling if you keep getting annoyed at the Goodwill bins.